Hello friends, welcome to How to Build Neith. Let's go ahead and get started with talking about her starter items. Obviously Death's Toll and Sprint are pretty common to start with. You could actually go into Boots 1 if you wanted to, however I would say save the gold if you don't want to pick up Sprint for Transcendence. And of course wards and all that are at the top here in the starter so that you can see them, but you don't actually purchase them. So core items that we build, or that I build on Neith anyway, is Transcendence. This is a very strong item on Neith. Not only does it give her additional mana so she can stay in lane longer, it also gives her a massive stacking buff that can't be removed when you die, and it converts 3% of her mana into physical power. Pretty interesting if you ask me. The reason that building high damage on Neith is actually viable is if we come over here and look at her abilities, you see that she has 80% scaling on everything. So you're looking at a lot of additional damage. When you're sitting at 400 power, which is quite easy with the build that I have. Yeah, her ultimate just murders people, especially with pin. So it is a pretty interesting and very strong build. I build her much like a mage, not like a traditional auto attack ADC. So next comes Devil's Gloves, another stacking item. It does take a little bit longer to get Neith up and going, but when you do get her going, it's just tremendous. This gives you some life steal on top of just a lot of raw power. Then, Deathbringer. You're not going to always auto-attack, but when you do, a 20% chance to crit is pretty good. Not to mention, it has 50 physical power. Again, stacking all the physical power that we were talking about a second ago is very good. Last, we have Boots. Of course, pin boots give you the 15% pin that you need. Or not 15% pin, 15 pin. And with some of the other items, it works out pretty well. Of course, you would build Boots third, or yeah, build Boots third. A little late, but with Sprint and you know, her backflip and all that, she has a very good kit for escaping. So Boots early is not necessary. About the time you pick this up is when you really are going to start doing some like hard rotating for, you know, stuff. And that is a good time to pick it up, in my opinion. If you do not feel as safe, pick it up after Transcendence, then go Devil's Gloves. It'll take you a little bit longer to get your stacks up, but, you know, you're safer, I guess. So now looking at some damaging items that I would pick up. There's Jotun's Wrath. I find this to be my personal favorite one of the items to pick up, because it gives you an additional 25% cooldown. And that means that you will be able to obviously use your abilities faster, but it means your ultimate will be up faster. So that big global presence snipe is going to be available more often. And again, 40 power. And some more mana, which means you're going to get a little bit extra power out of it. Not a lot, but a little bit. Titan's Bane is another choice that I love. This will give you all the pin in the world. Like 33% pin, 15 from this, flat pin, and then another 11 pin from this. So that's a good amount of pin, meaning that your abilities will really hit hard. But maybe you don't want to do that. Maybe you want to pick up Rage instead to give yourself more auto attack damage. Nothing wrong with it. It's a good item. I'd pick it up maybe over Jotun's if you don't want the extra cooldown. So that would give you 50% crit, which is good. You know, 50% crit, nice. The last one I have to talk about as far as actual damaging abilities is Odysseus's bow. This is an item that I don't know if a lot of people would pick up on her. However, with the extremely high scaling that we have on her physical power, Odysseus's bow, when it does proc, is going to proc super hard, and it will make good use of the 20% crit you have if you don't pick up Rage. So overall, I don't think you can go wrong with it. So if you have to go a little bit more defensive, grabbing yourself a Magi's Blessing is a pretty good item to pick up. giving you some reduction to crowd controls, a little bit of physical protection, and making it so that one hard CC won't do anything to you. Pretty nice. If you're having problems with physical power people, okay. You could pick up Witchblade. Witchblade is a pretty good item, gives you some additional movement speed, some additional attack speed, some physical protection, and an aura that reduces physical power and physical attack speed that people have. Pretty straightforward. Ansile is another good pickup if you're having problems with magic, or if your team you're going up against is mostly magical. This also gives you a lot of physical power and some cooldown, so it's actually a very interesting item to pick up. Possibly replacing Titan's Bane if you don't want to go for the extra pin. It's a possibility. It will give you 60 power overall and 15% cooldown, which with Jotuns would mean you'd have max cooldown and some additional power that you wouldn't have, but you wouldn't have the pin, so Shifter Shield is an interesting item. I don't necessarily think anyone would pick it up, but it does give you a little bit of protections when you're below half health. It gives you a little bit more, and it gives you 60 physical power, meaning that you can truck it on hard. Again, not exactly what I would call a very big popular item on her, but it is an item that you could pick up that would give you a little bit more tankiness. Now, obviously, Greater Sprint is going to be like a mandatory item. Purification Beads, pretty mandatory as well. And Aegis Pendant to replace Purification Beads if the enemy team doesn't have any real crowd control that you're worried about. Now, another option is Girdle of Support or Girdle of Inner Power. If you're, selfish, you can pop this before using your ult, let your ult fully charge, and snipe somebody for a massive amount of damage. It's an interesting thought. I don't know how viable it would actually be, but it's an interesting thought nonetheless. And I've done it once or twice with decent effect. But anyway, guys, that's it. I'm not going to talk about much else to do with her. If you don't know her abilities, then you should. Go look them up. They're pretty interesting. This isn't a full guide. But yeah, those are the abilities if you want to pause and look at them. Also, don't forget to check out other people's content, such as Train Kills series on the main Smite channel. He does some interesting things, telling you about gods that you may not realize. And the very first one that he covered is Neith, so go look it up. Go to Smite Game. I doubt I'll put a link up, but hey, there might be a link here telling you to go look at it. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. May your Weaver of Fate serve you well. And yeah, as always, have a wonderful day.